I have two questions. Do you remember DTV? And do you find yourself, like me, trapped in a loop of nostalgia? In the years 2008 to 2011, my brother Levi and I would sit together on the floor and watch old VHS tapes inherited from an older cousin who lived in Mississippi. It was the bonus room, and it had a love seat, a recliner, and a weird bench thing in the TV area. And in the play area, we had our toys and stuff. There was even a time when we had one of those big plastic Fisher-Price play castles in that room. I still see it so clearly in my mind's eye. The way the sun shone at certain times of day. I can still feel the carpet under my legs. I can still see my brother's cowlick, but especially that box TV. There was this one VHS we had that was a collection of old songs with clips from vintage Disney cartoons, edited to make music videos for old songs. I could only remember bits and pieces of it, and only in passing. I felt like a name you couldn't quite remember on the tip of your tongue. I'd be going about my day, and suddenly clips and sound bites would flash into my mind, along with the sickly, bittersweet feeling we call nostalgia. I tried to find the video, but the only songs I could remember were 16 Tons and Stormy Weather. Only let me upload the public domain version. So here's the public domain version.
Don't know why there's no sun up in the sky, stormy weather. Since my man and I ain't together, keeps raining all the time. Life is bare, gloom and misery everywhere, stormy weather. Just can't get my poor self together.
One day I remembered a VHS title called Make Mine Music, and I could see the Well cartoon on the cover in my mind's eye. I was so excited thinking I had found it. I googled it, but to my dismay, it was a sing-along collection of original Disney songs dubbed Fantasia but worse. Make Mine Music was also a source of memories for me. I remember it had a sequence based on Moby Dick, where a whale could sing because it had swallowed an opera singer or something.
Mama's little baby loves shortening, shortening. Mama's little baby loves shortening bread. Two little children lying in bed. One of them sick and the other most dead. Called for the doctor said, feed them children on shortening bread.
Maybe I'll make a video about it in the future. I had gotten it mixed up because we also owned it when I was a kid. We had a lot of VHS tapes. Whenever it would come to mind, I'd still search for that forgotten VHS. It seemed even Reddit didn't even know what I was talking about, and this would have to be my white whale. No, not you, opera whale. I had resigned giving up, and it would be a fading memory, a time I'll never be able to return to. Just one of those fading childhood things you have to learn to accept is over. One day I got too tall for the Chick-fil-A play place. One day I wore my twinkle toes for the last time. One day Toys R Us went out of business. Time was passing, and no matter what I thought about it, no matter how many photos taken in 2010 of American malls I looked at, it was going to pass. Until one day I was watching Shrek Forever After, and I heard the end credits. For Once in My Life by Stevie Wonder. Finally, I had a lead. 3 songs to work with. I spent even longer searching, and Reddit still didn't know what I was talking about. That was until one day I found it listed on a resale website, thanks to the songs being listed on the description of the item. 1984 DTV's Golden Oldies collection. I rewatched it twice while writing this script. It brought me so much joy and relief to be able to listen to all these songs again and watch the music videos. The editing of the clips is genuinely so good. As a kid, I straight up thought that they were videos Disney made for the music, not a compilation of clips from vintage cartoons. I especially love any clips with Goofy. That guy goes so well with so many different types of music, turns out. There's just something about him. 1984's Golden Oldies was a collection of music from the 50s and 60s, edited with old Disney cartoons. This collection comes from when Disney would air music videos with popular cartoons from their IP in 1984 on the Family Channel as commercial breaks. It was called DTV. It was then turned into a series of VHS tapes, and DTV's Golden Oldies is only one of many. DTV Golden Oldies genuinely has an amazing lineup. It starts off with Baby Love by the Supremes, and then goes into Blue Donaby by Spike Jones, That Old Black Magic by Louis Prima and Kelly Smith, 16 Tons by Tennessee Ford, Money That's What I Want by Barrett Strong, Lavender Blue Dilly Dilly by Burl Ives, Can I Get a Witness by Marvin Gaye, Pineapple Princess by Annette Punciero, Mickey's Monkey by Smokey Robinson and the Miracles, Stranded in the Jungle by the Cadets, For Once in My Life by Stevie Wonder, Tall Paul, once again by Annette Fonciello, Stormy Weather by Lena Horne, You Really Got a Hold on Me by Smokey Robinson and the Miracles, Holiday for Strings by Spike Jones, and When I Grow Up to Be a Man by the Beach Boys. Me and editing here. If you haven't listened to any of Spike Jones's music, specifically the ones on this VHS, please check it out, because it's insane. He's a madman. It's some of the weirdest stuff I've ever heard. There's like random gunshots and yelling and just noises. It's just, he's crazy. It could be a whole other video, honestly, so check that out. My favorites have got to be Baby Love, 16 Tons, and Can I Get a Witness, For Once in My Life, Money, and When I Grow Up to Be a Man. I doubt this collection will have the same sentimental value to someone who didn't grow up on it, but I recommend checking it out if you're someone who makes edits or fan-made music videos. Even though it's common nowadays for fans to make animated music videos to their favorite songs, 21 Pilots fans probably remember the Animaniac to Friend Please. The average person didn't have access to animation software at the time, or the ability to air it anyway, so I'm sure this was really cool for a lot of kids at the time, and honestly, most of it still holds up. Most of it. There are a couple of frames where you can see blackface or offensive caricatures, even though in the 50s and 60s, when these cartoons were created, racist characters were very common. This was aired in the 80s, and it would have been so easy to just not include them. It really adds nothing to the video at all. Like, some of these frames you could have just cropped a little, and no one would have known. It's especially weird considering the amount of black artists that are featured in the compilation. I don't think it's a super modern take to think it's weird to see a glimpse of racist characters during a music video for Baby Love by the Supremes is weird, because it is weird. I bring this up because this compilation of music and Disney clips was meant to be nostalgia. In the 80s, when 80s kids were watching this with their parents were being reminded of the old cartoons they loved as kids. And so were the grandparents. The thing about nostalgia is that something that can be a happy memory for someone can be a negative memory or mean nothing at all to another person. So when we look back on the past, we have to remember not to just do it with rose-colored glasses. Because even though there are a lot of good things about the past, there's also a lot of bad things that it's okay to not think about when we're having our happy memories, but we can't ignore all the time. Even though I was glad when I found this, no matter how much I rewatch it, I won't be 5 again, and Levi won't be 2, and it won't be 2008. And that's good. 2008 was not a great year. My youngest brother Isaiah wouldn't be born for 4 more years, and I remember when Isaiah was born, our aunt came to help out our mom when she came home from the hospital. This was the same aunt who gave us the VHS. Me and Levi were watching it in the bonus room, and she watched through and hovered for a minute, and just said, "I remember watching this when Jordan was little," and went on. It brought her memories, and now it's bringing me back memories. But I have to remind myself when I get caught up in a cycle, just remembering and trying to relive things, I will never make those new memories to look back on. I can sit around all day and think about how much I love those days, but really life is pretty good right now. One day I'll look back on the shows I like now, remember the music I like now, time with friends I have now, things with family I did now. And I want something good to look back on, especially in a time where it feels like everything is a remake and companies are just trying to cash in on our yearning for when things are simpler. It's important to remember that while nostalgia is fun, it is an illusion. Now is the good old days. You can find Golden Oldies on the Internet Archive or here on YouTube, and even a playlist on Spotify. Thank you for watching. A like and subscribe would be appreciated.
Don't know why there's no sun up in the sky. Stormy